It's like against just you don't understand, Grant, what it's like running a show on his channel because I'm the reason that he has any subs at all. And I just took a vacation, and then now I have to lower myself to run it. Are we live already?
Well, just like my priest told me that sometimes you just gotta close your eyes and just take what's coming to you
and appreciate it. Just let it happen. Like, is that where you're going with that?
Yeah, some things are out of your will.
And I suppose we're not supposed to mention that, like, during the show, Scott's on another channel.
Oh, right. No, don't mention that.
Oh,
please.
Okay, cool.
No,
okay.
We can't do that. We're just running the show. All right, I'm gonna do the do. Wait, Scott's on another channel? Wait a minute.
You didn't do the do.
I got wait, it's do. No, Tina effed me up.
We were also live for 45 seconds before we started this countdown.
Do. I said, why? I didn't mean to hit the button. I was frustrated. I'm the reason he's anybody, okay? If I didn't take him in when I had less than 100 subs, he wouldn't have over 5,000 now. All right? Did I miss it again? Shit. Oh, guys, never freak out and lose your mind over here, because then you're going to end up working for somebody else. And it's horrible. Do. Did I, Alex?
Matt Barber Entertainment.
See, look at all the people. Look at all the people in the intro that are not on the show.
Yeah, this needs to be updated. Mr. Casino, we need this updated. This is the most mad that we've gotten so far. He's not here yet. Hi, everybody. Hail the chat. Thank you so much for being here. My computer, it might have an aneurysm, so if I go off camera, that's the reason. Good to see you guys. And with me today for a short time is Grant before he goes cheering on his children, which like a good daddy does. What's going on, Grant?
Yeah, not much. Just chilling out. Being the number one Spork shill, and I kind of expected him to be here, or Mad, the guy whose show it is, and
he's the star. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I
mean, we got two people here on the panel that are looking forward to Loki season 2, so I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
Don't hate, because Tina spread the love. Hi, Tina. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing very well. How are you boys doing?
We're doing great. Grant apparently is in a very troubled place right now. What does it take, Tina? What do you think it takes to be the number one Spork shill? Yeah.
Wow. Oh God. I think you have to be able to handle, abandonment and lack of activity with your host.
Right.
Yeah, those are probably the top two.
Big ego. Big ego. I think too. I think that's another thing that you'd have to get over. To accept. But something like not like a healthy ego like Slender Dad has. Like how are you, Slender? What's going on, buddy?
I'm glad you understood that my ego is healthy.
It is.
As I like to say, I am perfectly humble.
It is. It's very girthy. It's a very girthy, humble ego, and I'm very happy to know it. Wait.
And as far as being the number one Spork shill, you probably have to have some kind of abandonment issues linked to like an absent father syndrome that you then make Spork your absent father because he's never here.
Well, I mean, it's not abandoned. I mean, he went out for cigarettes. I mean, he's obviously
he's gonna
can't
come
find
back.
any. He'll come back. Like he's not gone. He's just busy. Sometimes you can go down the road. It takes you 3 minutes to get cigarettes. Other times it takes you 38 years.
It's taking a piss. All right, I understand that. I want to say hi to the chat real quick. What's up, Keely Chow? How you doing, brother? Hail to you. Thank you so much for being here. Alex Moore is with us. Was I cursing already? I don't. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating to run a show on Scott's channel because I have abandonment issues. No, thank you for being here, dude. Appreciate you. What's up, Darth Scipio? How you doing, dude? Papa Chew. Good to see you, brother. Keith Howard is here. How you doing, Keith? Thank you so much for coming back. Thank you guys so much for being here with whatever platform you are on. Please smash that like button, share out links, and thank you guys so much. We appreciate each and every person stops back every week. Like brightest day. What is up, brightest? Look, you got to stop sharing such sexy pictures on Instagram. All right, I can't deal with it. You and Tim, I gotta turn this camera off. You and Tim talks, I can't do it. It's too much man. Like, I'm not gay. I'm not saying I'm gay. I'm just saying that, like, it's enough. There's enough man going on there. You got to slow down, brightest, please. You give me a geek on every time I see you. I love you, brother. Thank you so much for being here. What's up, Soul Assassin? How are you, brother? Thank you, channel member. Appreciate you and every other channel member coming through, supporting this channel. Scott very much appreciates you guys. He's going to be having content coming in specifically geared for you. He's learning to appreciate people that financially support his channel. And we appreciate you here, too. Thank you so much. Like Zombie Box Reviews. What's up, Andy? Hail, brother. Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Sean is here. What's up, Sean, another channel member? Hail, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Sonora Baptiste. Did I say that right? Tina, did I say that right?
Yes,
Sonora
you did.
Baptiste. All right, thank you. I'm just making sure I'm checking. Best looking. Oh, hold on. I got to turn the camera back on. You know what? You give me a little bit of shine. I appreciate that. I might even give my nipple pinch. I appreciate you. Hail, brother. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, is what do you say? Why are you gay? I'm not gay. I'm not. It's happy. First off, it's old school gay. I'm old school gay. Happy. It's happy gay. All right. I'm not saying I'm gay. You know, I'm just saying that brightest day comes through like Tim's talk a little too often with, you know, the pics that are like, you know, showing himself up, and you know, it's not making me feel insecure. It's not that at all. I'm very secure in my dad bod. I'm very secure about it. It's just, you know, it's a little too much. You know, a little too much every now and again. Can't help how I make those outfits look banging. They look great. I love your cosplay, dude. Guys, please check out Brightest Day's Instagram. You know, if you are secure in your manhood too, you gotta be like me. You gotta be, you know, secure masculinely, you know, to handle that. And Tim's talk. But no, dude loves all the geek culture you're throwing out there. Appreciate you. Yeah. So, how's your week going, everybody? Tina had a very rough work day. And she's getting her geek brain on. She has to unload, you know.
Absolutely. Kind of did one switch over to the other. The brain still hasn't shut down. I somehow want to talk to you all about importing client data for some reason. I can't remember why, but you know.
Man. Yeah, I'm sorry. we're gonna let you rest for a minute, sweetheart.
Oh, thank you.
Slender Dad, what have you been up to, man? What are you doing on YouTubes lately?
On the YouTubes?
On the YouTube.
I'm actually still kind of in work mode too, because Tina started talking about importing client data, and I'm like, all right, is it going to be encrypted in transit? Where are we putting it? When it gets there, is it encrypted at rest? We need that encryption. How are we looking at encryption?
Well, I mean, if you use Oracle, everything's automatically encrypted, depending on you know, the method of transportation. So, I mean, it really depends on your system.
Man, I'm glad that we're going here. We're going to go right back to gay. Thank you, McCracken. Appreciate you. Or at least McCracken. It's not that kind of gay. It's not that kind of gay. It's happy gay. Old school gay. Okay, before the rainbow. When the rainbow.
I've seen a lot of guys at the parade. They seem pretty happy.
You know what? Listen, my federal heterosexuals, we need to bring the rainbow back. We need to take it back. We need to make the rainbow manly again. This is what we got to do. All right.
Well, do you know the origin of the rainbow?
And leprechauns?
No.
It came from Jesus.
It's biblical. The rainbow was what they saw after the 40 days and 40 nights of endless rain that flooded the earth and killed everyone on the freaking planet, with the exception of Noah and the animals. That was God hanging up his bow as a sign that he would never again do that to mankind.
Well, hot damn.
So the rainbow is badass.
Rainbow is badass. All right. So we need to take it back. We need to take it back from, you know, we're not saying they can't use it. We just got to I think we should take it back, you know. That's just where I'm sticking with it. That's how I feel. Snore Baptiste says, make Marvel male again, Lord Watson. What's going on? do we have too many chicks in Marvel? Tina, as the resident woman on here, because nobody else will admit that. What is there too many women in current Marvel?
I'll admit Tina's a woman. I don't see why that's such a hard line to.
I didn't say that right.
I would say that there aren't too many women on Marvel. There are too many women with male characters' names on Marvel.
Mm-hmm. And they're not transitioning; they're just playing male parts.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Sylvie.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure.
Hey, Sylvie's my girl, man. You lay off Sylvie.
I mean, we're getting into deep cuts if we start talking about that, because I was just telling my wife the other day when we were watching something. I don't remember what, because it was pointless. But like, why can't women act like ladies on television anymore? They all act like dudes.
I don't know.
It's weird. Like, oh, I know what I was watching at the time. I was watching the live action adaptation of The Last of Us, right? And like the first female character that is introduced is like, we're gonna get those motherfuckers, and I'm a fucking badass, and girl boss. And I'm like, I know that in the game that character was that way, but like, can we just have like a girl that like has, you know, a feminine allure for once? Ever?
Would be nice, you know. Man flaps are not, you know, something I'm looking for. You know, as a female, I would say, Zombie says female character with male traits. Yeah, like I was talking about this a couple weeks ago. I'm not even sure it was on this. I'm not sure which live stream it was, but like I enjoy strong female heroes. I like strong heroines. I have no issue with that. But you rarely see how they're written in today's film or television. Like rarely. It's not that it doesn't happen, but you know, as women, as strong women, as opposed to like women imitating men.
Best one I've seen going back recently, as recently as you can go, for the last one that I thought was really good, was Sansa Stark. Sansa Stark went through hell and became an incredibly strong female character who actually was strong as a female instead of just becoming a man.
True. You're right. And because like females have their own, women have their own strengths, men have their own strengths. They complement one another. We always have strengths and weaknesses. You know, it's just that nowadays we get fairy godmother as a dude, and and roles for women that are not written playing to feminine strengths. I mean, am I seeing that wrong, Tina? What do you think?
Not at all. We've just taken the quality, equity, business just a step too far. So women have lost all that used to mean what it means to be a woman.
Grant, what does it mean to be a woman?
Well, fundamentally, as the male here on the panel, I think I'm best equipped to answer this. What it means to be a woman is, I have no fucking idea. I don't even know what a woman is. I've watched all the documentaries on it. I'm now even more confused. All I know is that in these TV series and everything, they make the women basically men. If they're really pretty, they make them have the ugliest haircuts. Poor Evangeline Lilly looked like a dude.
Oh.
And they make all the young girls miserable cunts.
That Zombie Box Review says I'm fed up with them cucking the male characters to prop up the female characters. That's bad writing, I think. That's just because you can.
Yeah, that doesn't make your female character look better. What makes your female character look better and demonstrates their strength is when they outmaneuver and outwit the man. When they just beat the shit out of the guy, it's like, okay, well, that had never happened ever, but
yeah,
all right.
The Wasp went toe-to-toe with Kang, and he didn't even land a shot on her.
Yeah, but he beat the fuck out of Ant-Man.
Yeah, practically killed him.
Well, at least he didn't hit a woman. No, not right time. I'm sorry. Okay.
I wish he would have.
I know you look for any opportunity to advocate for violence towards women. That's why we didn't say anything.
Gotcha. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Yeah, you would think. I will go back to what Slender Dad was saying. Women are social creatures. You know, they're on the up and up when it comes to the social maneuvering, and that's where you would see a strength. You know, that's where you would see I think it's a good example, Slender Dad. But when it comes to like brute force, well, I mean, like it depends. like if you put Gina Carano up against me, she'd probably whip my ass, but because she's built to whip ass.
He does have the height and reach advantage, so it does make sense.
Yeah.
Yes, but she is also in the top 1% of the strongest and most capable women fighters on Earth. Easily.
Yeah, she'd be in the 1% of the 1% of that, because there aren't a lot of women who know how to fight.
Yeah, you got to look at a bell curve, and the bell curves are drastically off of each other. A woman's power comes from other abilities and capitalizing on those abilities. Read about the ever faithful Penelope in the Odyssey, right? She was a strong woman. She held off all the suitors who were trying to, get her to marry them when they thought Homer, or not Homer, whatever the hell his name was dead. Look at Helen of Troy, who got the hell out of a bad marriage and brought nations to their knees because they were fighting over her. There are ways to use your strengths. Your physical prowess doesn't have to be the only one.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
That's Hollywood's counter argument. But we're gonna do it that way.
No, you.
Yeah. Odysseus.
That's the one. That's the one.
Thank you, Soul Assassin. Appreciate that. Our fellow geeks and nerds looking out when we have a brain fart. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. So tonight we are going to, I understand. No offense taken. No offense taken. Some guys pay good money for an experience like that. C.E. Tepecuian. So, you never know. You never know who's into what, right? We don't kink shame here. So tonight we're going to...
yes, we do. That's one of our biggest things.
don't spoil it, Grant. We're inclusive. We are inclusive here, okay?
Yeah, we include everyone's kinks in the shaming. That's right.
Where's McAnee? Please hashtag furries when he shows up. So
you are all beautiful and unique snowflakes, right. Just like everybody else, which means you don't fucking matter.
I'm not.
So tonight we're going to be covering episodes 2 and 3 of season 1 of the Mayor of Kingstown. Thank you, guys. I hope that.
Wait, you mean 3 and 4?
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Sorry, 3 and 4.
I said that so what did you think of the Mad? No, he's not.
What's
Mad?
that?
Not he? No.
I was trying to hold off and bullshit a little bit until he showed up, if he can. But we got some homies on here. Before we begin, oh shit, where'd he go? God damn it, Grant, where'd you go? Shit! Damn it. All right, fine, I'll do it myself.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Before we get started, Tina brought to bring this to everyone's attention, and I think it's a good thing. 2 Florida corrections officers arrested and accused of throwing hot water on inmates. We know we're very sensitive to the incarcerated here, so please, guys, refrain from laughing or spoiling the story.
Okay, but I gotta ask the honest question here, right?
Yeah.
Accused of throwing hot water on inmates.
Mm-hmm.
Not boiling water.
Mm-hmm.
Not even simmering water. It's hot water.
They're very sensitive. They're very sensitive in there. All right. You're trapped in a cage all day.
I have questions. I hope they are answered while we discuss. But I have questions.
All right. Well, we're going to seek them out, Slender. This is what we do. So why is it always in Florida too? There's all these stories about Florida. Why did I move here? I don't understand. I don't see any of this fun shit.
Florida is Florida, man. So
I don't see any of this fun shit. I see crackheads, but I used to see them back in Philly. There's no difference.
And I'm sure Philly is very happy you took the crazy with you.
Not all of it. Not all of it. Let's see. 2 Florida corrections officers have been arrested for allegedly throwing hot water on inmates, causing severe burns. Hot water causing severe burns.
Hot water burn, baby.
That might answer your question. I kind of answered the question. Lee County Sheriff's Office Corrections Officer Casey Howell and Enzo Finnemore face charges of misconduct and battery. Sheriff Carmine Marciano, God damn it, guys. Why can't you have names like Smith and Jones? I can't do this. Announced on Twitter.
Carmine Marcino. Come on, Carmine Marcino.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Well, I'm currently running from an Italian. Injuries were observed on an inmate housed in a direct observation during routine checks. Mercino said the deputies conducting checks notified a supervisor immediately. The investigation found 3 inmates had first and second degree burns. They fucked around and found out. I think there might have been a little scuffle. Are they running
there
it
were
like
no third-degree burns, so it couldn't have been that bad.
Not that bad, right? You know, your skin's not falling off. You know, that's a little bit of retting and maybe a bump. You know, like maybe one blister. Calm down, guys.
Blistering.
What did you do to piss off the guards? Come on. You can do it, browser. Please don't fuck around. We can do it. We can do it. Okay. Why are we stuck on crazy blonde chick on the side? I don't need any more of those. Come, please, fucking move. Come on. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we're hearing all of this.
Good. I'm glad that you can hear me because I can't do shit right now with my browser. Okay, we're gonna click. Oh no! Wait, how do we get down here?
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's going. Hold on.
Are you using Chrome? Is Chrome not responding?
Yes, it's Chrome, and it's not responding. How and Finnemore are believed to have been using a water dispenser to throw out. They had a super soaker with fucking boiling water in it. This is what they do. Slender, there you go. This is how you torture inmates. You have fun with it.
I have to imagine, I'm getting a picture in my head. I have to imagine they have like the water dispensers that have, you put the bottle on top of it and it dispenses water. And then it's got the blue paper cup. Like you can put the paper cup under the little blue or the little red. And the red gives you hot water. Dude, that hot water isn't, it's hot, but it's not going to kill you.
It's not that hot.
Right. It's coffee hot, not like, boiling potatoes hot.
Yeah.
Are we talking McDonald's coffee hot?
Like, no, we're talking like it's going to be just enough to make your ramen.
Right. Okay. All right. I agree. I don't know. This guy, former Lee County Sheriff's Deputy Casey Howell is facing charges in connection with the attack with a super soaker with lukewarm water. And there's Enzo Finnemore. I would not have pictured Enzo would have that been that pale. I don't know. Is that racist of me? I just wouldn't have imagined that face. I don't know. That's just me.
Maybe he's Northern Italian.
There you go. There you go. Thank God. So yeah, we let off with this. Why did you think that there was going to be a good article to lead off with, Tina? What was your thinking?
Well, I was thinking we were going to be talking about Mayor of Kingstown. There was a small segment of I think it was episode 3 that had them shaking up the leaders of the gangs with doing some mistreatment that was a little beyond the hot water. So that'd be kind of a nice comparison to what we see in the land of Kingstown versus reality.
Thank you. Enzo, Enzo, I almost called Slender Enzo. Oh my God. What is going on? I'm trying to think of anything while my browser decides to screen share. Slender, would you have used something other than a super soaker to abuse inmates?
I mean, if I'm going to abuse inmates, it's the taser or the collapsible baton every time.
Ooh, nice. All right, let's see. Tina, if you're going to abuse an inmate, what would you use?
I would have to say the collapsible baton. And we got a cool one on my keychain that it kind of looks like it's just a piece of metal, like a key ring, but it's really a kubaton, but then it also expands to be a collapsible baton. So
man, Mr. Bojan better act right. Moose said
no, he's the one who arms me, so
damn.
I'll have to tell you the time I was threatened by students when I used to teach college at night. And it was to the point where we were really like using mirrors to check to make sure there wasn't a bomb under my car type scenario. So
oh my God. Boost McFadden, what's up, dude? He says, hey, Steve and Tina and Nightmare Fuel. Damn, Tina, you had to worry about it like that?
Well, I mean, not to be stereotypical, but they came from they were international students from certain countries in which bombings are pretty much a daily occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also much older than the traditional student, which is your 18 to 22. They were in their late 20s, and it was not part of their culture to respect women. And when they both failed a test, they were trying to explain to me how, getting an F was unacceptable.
Oh, wow.
And I had to explain to them back how it is that they achieved such a grade. And so I was getting, threatening emails and threatening, verbally being threatened by them during class. So, I used to have security walk me out to my car. And it turns out I was the lucky one because another professor that these two kids had, and you can't even call them kids, I mean, because they're full-fledged adults in their late 20s, they actually went to this professor's house, who happened to be very close to the university, like a couple miles away, and were like banging on his door with baseball bats and shit. So they
Oh
did
my
get it.
God.
Yeah, they did get expelled, but I wasn't so crazy when I was a little afraid for my life.
Whew, banging on the door with baseball bats. So they have weapons that are capable of deadly force. They are brandishing those weapons in such a manner as intent to use deadly force. Yeah, I just shoot them. Deadly force is authorized in that situation.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I did not have my CCL at the time, nor could I have even had a weapon on campus because it was a university in the state of Illinois, where it is verboten.
I mean, can you even have guns in the state of Illinois anymore?
Well, unfortunately, my family lost all of our guns in a boat accident on Lake Michigan, but theoretically, they are legal in the state of Illinois. So one could have such weapons and be a level 3 FFL. So,
my Lord, that sounds like a hell of a scary experience. And Boo says expelled. How about prison? Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you're being culturally sensitive. These poor refugees or whatever they were, they didn't understand. They didn't understand. That's nuts,
yeah.
man.
Well, after they were arrested and they got kicked from campus, obviously. So, expelled is sort of the word for it. But since they were here on a student visa, as soon as they were expelled, they were then deported back from whence they came.
Well, yeah, and so much for getting higher education at that point.
Exactly.
That's crazy. Tim Stalk on your left. What's up? Good to see you, Tim. We were just talking about you, Tim. Please keep your shirt on Instagram, all right? And don't get together with oh my God, Brightest Day. God, I couldn't even think of his name. I'm freaking fried. I've been working so hard this week. Who says bring back boobs? So can you guys listen? Do not get up with him and don't bring your boobs out. Your moobs. I don't want to see it. Does not make me feel insensitive. I'm very, very, very confident in my masculinity. I'm just saying. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here, man.
Oh my goodness. Did you see who's in the chat? We have a guaranteed star in the chat right now.
Yo, what's up, Jane Theory? Good to see you. So I wish we could deport 90% of Twitter, but then it wouldn't be fun, Jane. We wouldn't have anybody to laugh at. God, there's
wait, are you implying that they couldn't have computers and internet in the third world countries that they came from?
Uh-oh. Now you're in trouble. Good to see you, honey. Thank you for stopping by. Guys, please subscribe to Jane Theory. So on a wonderful, she's on the cast of the Saturday show, and please check them out. What did Boosh just say? Boosh said 90% of Twitter is bots. I mean, are you talking about in real life bots or just people who have no growth and static opinions? I don't know. Either way,
those are NPCs.
Oh, NPCs. Oh my God, I forgot that term. So today we're going to be, let's talk about Simply Murder, which is episode 3 of season 1. Did I get that right this time, Tina?
Yes, you did.
Yes, thank you. All right, because it's right there. If I got it wrong, there's no way for me to get out of that. Simply Murder from the mayor of Kingstown. Great show Mad turned us on to. Hopefully he can stop by. He may not be able to tonight. He actually suggested we start to cover shows that are good and entertaining, things that are currently out. And he suggested this, and everybody else on the panel at the time liked it, had seen it, or was watching it. And I have to say, I'm having a good time with this show. And we could use a little more. We could use a little more positivity talking about shows and movies that are actually really good and probably don't get enough shine. And so we are going into this episode. And guys, when this thing starts out with the kid, that was horrifying. When that kid dies,
I initially thought that, oh, this is a flashback to like Mike or Kyle as a child. You know, not, you know, I dream that this was going to be a victim.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is probably the most important episode of season 1 and the hardest one to watch.
For a couple different reasons. Like, as a parent, I never want to see something like that. And the way, like when they showed up at the scene, and you know, this show is pretty. This show's pretty realistic, and you know, seeing the body, you know, it was just, or what, you know, the charred remains of that body, that took me right out. I mean, it makes you think about what could possibly happen if an accident like that were to happen to a loved one. I don't know, it was pretty gruesome. Let's see. As a result of Kenny's irresponsibility, he inadvertently caused the death of his lady and their child, who both end up charred alive in a trailer where he was cooking meth. That is his fault. I said, you know, that's not a good place, bro. And the way that, or we'll go into it, but like the way the response from the police toward this was unapologetic, and like they wanted him dead.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, there was no other way of looking at it. And
well, it's the inciting incident for the whole season. Like the longer arc that spans the entirety of the season is incited by this incident at the beginning of episode 3.
Okay, and so
if you go a little deeper, a little bit of a spoiler, obviously at this point. I mean, I'm sure people have probably seen it, but like, it's a Faustian bargain is what happens. Mm-hmm. Like they have to give up their principles to accomplish their goal. I think it was still the first episode when they, you know, took care of the problem that, you know, killed old boy's brother. That was a failed Faustian bargain, in that it was a time when they gave up their principles of, you know, of serving justice, but they weren't making a deal with the devil. This one is a Faustian bargain, and I think the most interesting thing about it is unclear who the devil is in this deal. Is it the inmates or is it the guards? Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to tell.
We'll go into the next episode, but I think that I saw that coming as I was watching it, because like what says right here, the Kingstown police officers agree that Kenny must be brought to justice via not means of a courtroom. And we saw in previous episodes that they dole out justice when they feel that it should never reach court, you know, with what happened with.
Yeah, it was weird that they didn't do that this time. Presumably it's because he was being so cooperative.
What, Kenny was?
Yeah, like he was trying to turn himself in. He was trying to, you know, be cooperative.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
Sorry. It was interesting. I mean, because when Mike tells Kenny exactly what to do to turn himself in so that he would immediately be put in, solitary, I thought, oh, okay, well, now we don't have to worry about that bargain that they struck up. So it was interesting that the corruption goes so far in the police department that the guy couldn't even turn himself in and have the correct process occur to him.
I mean, did you guys find yourself feeling bad for Kenny at any point? You know, we have the scene where he's sitting outside and then like crying. You know, he mm-hmm. understands what happened and what he lost, and he definitely feeling guilt about that loss. But is there any remorse for a person who was cooking meth around family and then they die, even if it is an accident. Is there any remorse at all for that character from you guys?
Yes.
I did feel bad for him, especially after he has the conversation with Mike and he asked Mike, hey, tell me what to do. I don't know what to do. And exactly what Mike said, I would have been happy with. Okay, fine. He gets in solitary, he pleads guilty, gets the death penalty, just, sits around for a couple of years, contemplates, his afterlife, and then boom, things are over. So I was okay with that particular, ending to his crime. So to see them go out and, murder this person, I figured with them, why did that need to happen?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I felt that he was a worthless human being. From the start, he was a worthless human being. And he did a horrible thing. But he truly felt remorse for it and was trying to do what needed to be done to make it right. Up to and including turning himself in, pleading guilty, and eventually being sentenced to death. So, am I happy that he got shanked to death by the other inmates? Not really. Like, that would have been the ultimate end anyway. And that ain't gonna bring that kid back,
Mm-hmm.
Right. Jane Theory says cooking meth, that's kind of suicidal if you think about it. Yeah, absolutely. That's just killing yourself and killing others. But I mean, doing it in the close proximity of family members in the house you're living in, that's just it is putting family in a position where they were murdered. Like they even though it was an accident, that's still killing them. At least that's the way I look at it.
It's still criminal negligence, and you can still be charged with the associated crime.
Right. Thank you for saying that in Beth. Thank you for saying that better. Appreciate you.
Why is it that people that are cooking meth are often smoking cigarettes? Is it before the calm?
I don't know. Tina. I've never cooked meth, so I couldn't tell you. Stupidity. When Kenny comes to Mike, we kind of already talked about this a minute ago, but when he comes to him and Mike just like when he hits him, he straight hit him with that was a tire iron.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "I want to kill you my damn self." It's like there's no tolerance. Like even from someone like Mike, there's no tolerance. And he's the guy that has to talk to all these different factions, criminals and the law, and work with them, and try and create a balance.
Yeah, but Mike at least had restraint. Like, yes. I mean, he hit him with that tire iron. He gave him what for, and then he had the restraint and the the ability to go, all right, this is what's gonna happen.
And I think that's where that character is so important, because you would have to have that ability to reason with yourself in order to get things done between these two different parties, generally. It amazes me the control, like even in that situation, even like you said, he actually gave him an out. But do you think that when he was giving him an out to turn himself in and get put into protective custody, there's a part of me that looks at the character and says, even him saying that, he knows Kenny's going to end up dead. Like there's no protection at this point for this guy.
I mean, he definitely had his suspicions, and I mean, he was having his talk with the guards later, and he was like, "You do not want to make this deal. This is a bad deal. You don't want to do it. You just don't do it." And they were like, "We're going to do it." So, I mean, he facilitated the Faustian bargain, but he did not like the idea.
Like, Tina, do you agree with that? Is that what you saw?
That is what I saw, and what I thought was confusing or interesting. I don't know. Why couldn't they have did everything they said except not ask for the bargain? I mean, when people mess with kids, those criminals are usually, attacked by other inmates. So this is pretty much, the same type of scenario. So wouldn't they just assume that, the the Mexicans or the and I can't remember Crips, Bloods. I can't remember which one wears blue and which one wears red, but we'd imagine that everybody would want to kill this guy anyway.
I think
So then
the
why
issue
did they need to make the deal
wasn't
with
he
the
cooking for one of the gangs and presumably protected by that gang if he did end up in prison?
That's a good point. I think he was cooking for the Mexicans, but would have ended up with the Aryans if he was if he made it into prison alive.
Yeah, because you figure they use people for maneuvering ships. So
right,
somebody would protect him just to create a beef or to irritate or look out for someone else. And so Kenny gets put in protective custody, and he's basically told Mitch. He gets told by Mike. He's like, either way, you're dead, but at least you're gonna be on death row, and you're gonna die at some point. And then the fragile balance of peace in Kingstown hangs by a thread, as it is contingent on Mike keeping the scales even. If the police enlisted an affiliated prisoner to kill Kenny, the police would have been indebted to a gang. As Bunny Laughly mentions to Mike later, they'd milk that debt forever, which is kind of what you saw in the beginning of episode 4, as that was rolling out. Mike also realizes that even though he is so-called mayor of Kingstown, there is only so much influence and power that he wields. Unfortunately, because according to most, Kenny had broken a sacred code by inadvertently killing a child. So many people wanted him dead by that they ensure it happening without thinking too far ahead. Now Kenny has been killed by various members of several gangs with the police's full knowledge and complicity, meaning that everyone will suddenly owe everyone else a favor, with Mike being the broker of those favors. Do you think that the police made that deal because they feel like they are in complete control? Is there like a hubris involved with the police? I mean, to make that kind of bargain.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we see that down the road. Like they figured, okay, well, we'll go easy on him. We'll be nice to him. We'll give him a little bit of privilege, and that'll be that. Like the guards felt that they did not have to give too much, and the prisoners felt that they deserved more.
Give me a moment. I'll bring up the next page. Tina, what do you think? I mean, do you think the police think they have too much power in that town, or they don't respect the balance of power between themselves and the criminal gangs?
I think sadly that I almost separate the police and the prison guards as two groups, because they're not always working in sync either.
Agreed.
I think none of them, if you're talking about the 4 gangs plus the prison guards and the cops, I don't think any of them completely understand what it is that Mike does. That he's not there to really do favors for anyone. He's there to just kind of broker the peace, both inside and outside the prison. So he just, tries to make situations happen to lessen the chance of someone getting killed.
Yeah, he almost acts as arbitration when they have to work between the different groups.
And he's about a badass. I think Jerry Renner does such a good job playing this character. The presence that he has. All right. So moving on to Milo is in his prison cell, reheating a drink by building a fire out of a torn paper cup and matches he apparently has easy access to. And as he sips, he stares at a wall that is empty except for a torn newspaper clipping advertising the Michigan land auction. Now that was the reference to episode 1, isn't it? Isn't that the money that he had stashed that had to be taken? Because I didn't really see anything more in the episode about that. I'm taking that is like an overarching story thread throughout this whole season.
Yeah. Minor spoiler, I don't think that was the only thing that was out there. And I think maybe they got the wrong thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
'Cause
I mean, I'm the only.
I mean, as anybody who's watched, the rest of the season, and I'm not gonna, to spoil it, but there's 3 things that are on that land.
Okay. All right.
In the first episode, we see the money that's in, the that ends up, being the reason why, Mitch gets killed for someone stealing the money. And then later on, we end up finding out that there's more things on that land. What I wasn't sure is does Milo own that land, and is it being auctioned off because he lost the property as part of his sentencing?
I had thought it was public land and that was bought.
Oh, okay.
That's what that's from what I remember. And if I'm wrong on that, someone in the chat let me know. But I did notice that, and I'm thinking, okay, that is there for the purpose of letting us know this is a bigger story involved with everything, which would make sense and is good writing, attaching it to the first episode and being a pivotal point to why we lost Mitch and Mike had to take over. So I'm looking forward to finding out more about what happened there. Later, Mike is shown having sex with a woman in a bathroom. I saw that and I was like, all right, go Mike, who mentions that she cannot be seen with him when he suggests they grab food from the food court afterward. That's a booty call that knows its place. I'm not actually sure or don't remember who she was. Does she work in the DA's office?
Yeah,
who was
she
that
is.
one?
She is Evelyn, the assistant DA.
Okay, that's who I thought. All right, yeah, I guess it wouldn't be a good idea for those two to go out having lunch after something. In front of a class of college students instead of inmates, Miriam lectures about the early colonial travel from the western part of the U.S. After her class, Mike approaches his mom, and it is while still on campus that Miriam tells Mike that his brother's wife is pregnant after punching and slapping Mike for his ignorance about the situation. Right in public and surrounded by students, she suggests that Mike help Kyle make the right choice to take a different job away from the family business, one that is less likely to leave his wife a widow. Now, who said that? I think Matt had said the other week that her character is mostly useless. I think that was his opinion. This is my first time watching this show. I kind of like the historical references that she brings up. I think it helps to set a little bit of the tone or backstory or and as far as the inmates.
I mean, those history lessons she gives, though, they have a real woke spin on them.
Oh yeah, they're like super preachy.
It is preachy, absolutely, it is, and I think that's kind of a counterbalance to, that's the wokest that it gets, in my opinion. Yeah. And I think that's the kind of that's kind of like an offering to anyone who thinks in those terms. So the
scraps to appease the mob.
Yeah, scraps to appease the mob. Yeah, put it that way. Yeah.
Well, I know this might not be a popular opinion, but I'm used to those not agreeing with me. But I find her character the person I dislike the most. And I know we're dealing with very corrupt cops and prison guards and criminals and the gangs and whatnot, but the way that she manipulates her children against each other.
Well, and plays favorites and is I mean, she's the overbearing mother trying to keep her son under her skirts. Like, you're gonna make your wife a widow. Why the fuck would you say that to your own son? Like, let him be a man.
That's manipulative.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I despise the part when Kyle comes in after the one detective is killed when they're looking for Kenny, and I understand that the wife wanted a dinner to celebrate, to to let everybody know that she's pregnant, blah 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 blah. But for when the mom says he doesn't have the right to tell you no.
Wrong.
I'm like, you know what? I feel like I'm in a pretty solid marriage, and I can absolutely guarantee you, in the 25 years we've been married and the 30 plus years that we've known each other, there are absolutely times that you've got to say, either nicely or to the best of your ability without losing your head. Not now, dear. Like, not now. And walk away.
Not only is it a right, but there are times when it's a responsibility. Like, hey, love, can we buy this thing? Not right now. We got bills, etc., etc. So it's going to be a no from me. Like, no, like you're working together. Sometimes you gotta use veto power.
Well, absolutely, and I think also when you're talking about someone who's had an obviously bad day, and I mean you can hear in his voice on the verge of tears when he's having that short conversation with his wife. Sometimes, and I once again being stereotypical, sometimes men need to walk away to process things.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I can't remember who was the psychologist and the marital therapist that would talk about how men need to go into their cave for a while, and they need that cave, and they need you not to be in that cave, and they'll be back, just not now, dear.
Right, because men compartmentalize. We think about. I think I remember. I think I know who you're talking about. And the conversation that I saw was talking about how men have compartments, and they have to go into those compartments and figure out what's going on within themselves or the situation there by themselves. Whereas women are communicative, and everything within themselves is connected to emotion or a memory or a lesson. And so they are very communicative. They want to talk it out. They want to talk about their problems. Like, that is how they work through things. Whereas men are the opposite in most cases. They need to go to their cave. They need to sit down, process, and just, and work it out themselves. And the manipulative aspect of her, I see that there in how this is probably how she was with her husband. Gets her tendrils in, gets her ideas in, plants seeds of doubt, or basically I see a woman who was used to being that manipulative, making herself more worthy because she was setting up triggers within the men around her, so that they would instinctually need to come back to mom or come back to wife to figure something out. Or a woman who felt like she needed to manipulate in order to have any power within a household with tough men, very strong willed men. Don't know.
And the way she treats her sons is obviously going to be a little different, but like with regards to the whole, the husband sometimes has to go to his cave and process things. It's true, because we like to do like analysis. It's what we do. We analyze things and we come up with solutions. It's a thing that men do. And so if you present to me a problem, I don't want to talk about the problem. I want to analyze the problem. And if you keep trying to force me to stay and talk about the problem, more and more, it's going to make me angry and frustrated because I'm not getting my analysis in.
Absolutely. I mean, in my marriage, that, letting them walk away to, analyze the problem, that, and if I have a problem and I need to come home and I need to, bitch about what happened at work today, very often, my husband will say, like 5 minutes in that conversation, time out. Are we problem solving, or are we just bitching to bitch? And that's, oh yeah, nope, honey, you are not supposed to solve my problem. I just need you to listen to me because there's nobody at work I could yell at. And explain why this incident, whatever it is, was so frustrating.
And if it is that situation where like the man has to go away to the cave, like maybe this is just me, but if I get that time, if the wife lets me go and I can process for 5-10 minutes, I'm back in 5 or 10 minutes. Like, all right, here's what I'm thinking. Here's how it looks to me. Here are my ideas. Like, I just need a little bit of that time, that quiet time, to process and analyze. And I can't do that if the situation remains fluid. I need to step away and have a static moment.
I think that one of the biggest tells of how manipulative a person she is, and is the way that she tells the stories when she's giving lessons. To be honest, some of those lessons some of those stories I enjoy hearing. But you see a person who is playing on either playing on the already existing insecurities of the people she is teaching, or creating new seeds of of depression, or so easily manipulating minds who are predisposed to these stories because they are in a prison. They already have some feeling of victimhood, which is usually what propels a person to go into the most criminality, from my opinion. And so telling it the way that she does, she's creating a connection with them and also sowing more seeds of victimhood. Like, you're in this cycle, you're never getting out of this cycle, so go ahead and blame someone else for whatever issues you are dealing with. That's how I interpret it. Like, it's I think it's a really interesting way, and it's good writing, at least in my opinion, to show just how highly manipulative she is within the context of these characters. So going forward, meanwhile, Bunny calls Mike to get him to come over for a discussion, preferably with White Castle. And Mike tells him there's an FBI van. This part was so good when he said, "Yeah, there's an FBI van listening down the street," and then when he showed up, he had that car rolled up next to the FBI van playing the Chronic. I thought that was so good, dude. Everybody understands the interconnected, the between these criminals and between law enforcement in the various sectors. Like, everyone understands that they're there, how to deal with them. It's just like it's not even a secret. It's just open. It's openly discussed. Like, Mike was just on the phone and just said, "Yeah, there's an FBI van down the street," and he knew it. Bunny knew it, and understood that what his worry was, and created a solution in that moment. That's an interesting friendship. Like, would you call between what Mike and Bunny have? Would you call that a friendship? That association? Either of you? What do you think?
It's close. I definitely think that they have a good working relationship, but it's hard to say if it's friendship. I kind of feel like it is, though.
What do you think, Tina?
I think that at this point, it's not quite there yet, but I think this is the closest to a friendship that he has.
Okay.
I mean, because the way he interacts with, I can't remember what the guy's name is, but the one who's head of the Aryan gang, the one that he throws the garbage can through.
Oh yeah, that's
window.
A great actor, by the way.
Right.
That guy.
Exactly. Oh, Pete's his name. That's it. I mean, he was the shot caller for Pete when, Mike was in prison. So we already know that there's a pre-existing relationship there, but it is not friendship by any means. It was, I had to be part of this gang to survive my, stint in prison. But where I think as the story progresses through, I think that Mike does end up having a friendship with Bunny. Not necessarily trust him with your life friendship, but pretty damn close.
Yeah, I just see that in the association that they're building. Like, I'm watching these episodes as we go, so I'm new to each one, and I appreciate you guys refraining from as many spoilers as you can. Although if it's unavoidable, just go ahead with it. And that's kind of what I'm seeing between Mike and Bunny, is this friendship, this odd friendship developing. Even though Mike had come at him and tear up his yard and then put a gun to his neck.
Yeah, but he bought him even nicer chairs. I mean, if you run over my crappy white garden lawn chairs and come back with like those really sweet, like, I'm pretty sure you can get those on Amazon for like $80 chairs. Those are nice chairs.
Having been around criminal elements enough in my life and understanding the play between the two, you've got to have a show of strength. And I'm laughing. I was just laughing at that point when he had he bought him the chairs after he had a gun to him and had to let him know, about what was what. And then he came back later with the chairs and they sat down in a conversation. I'm like, yeah, I understand the language I'm seeing right now. And so I do see an association growing that has a level of friendship. But as Tina was saying, it's not trust that person with your life friendship. That is definitely not it. But there's a respect of boundaries and strengths and what each person's job is, I guess, within their own world, what they orbit and what they do for what they do. And when you have this Mike has this conversation with Bunny, Bunny's trying to get stuff out of him, just like Slender was bringing up earlier. The Faustian bargain starting to show itself. And the same thing with Pete when he shows up at Pete's and just throws a freaking, what does he throw, a chair through his window? Where's this guy at? That's the kind of strength you have to show. This I am in charge, even if it's always on the level of somebody could snap. If a person in those positions does not have control over the ultimate control over their emotions, somebody can snap and shoot somebody. That's absolutely can happen. But each person's role is understood by them and how far they can go. It's Slender. You were talking earlier about the Faustian bargain showing its face. Like at this point in the story, where, like, how far did you see when you originally saw it? How far did you think that was going to go? That bargain between law enforcement, the guards, and the gangs.
Well, see, when I first went to watch it, I didn't realize that I was watching season 2. So I kind of knew exactly how far it would go because I accidentally started on season 2.
Gotcha. All right, then let me ask Tina, what did you think the first time you were watching the series?
I knew that because of the fact that Mike kept having this conversation with every side of this conflict. You don't want this bargain. You don't know what they're gonna ask for in exchange. They're gonna ask for everything. And the fact that he had to go to every single person and either warn them or explain to them that, hey, the benefit for you doing this favor is that they ease off on you, not that they, start serving you, 4-course meals at 3 times a day and bringing in a masseuse and, cable TV and all that fun stuff. I mean, so I just don't know if everybody was unrealistic with their expectations. And it seemed like Mike was the only sane one in the room.
Yeah. That's kind of how I got, because the criminals, they're going to get as much as they can. They're going to put that pressure on and get as much as they can. And I was I knew as soon as the beginning of episode 3 when they started talking about this, I said this is not going to end well. There's just no way this is going to end well. And then Slender confirming that this is like a part of the story throughout season 1. I see that. I completely see that being a pressure point moving forward. So let's see. So we go through Pete, and then let's see, Iris. So Iris is waiting in the office and waiting for Mike, and that's an interesting character. And she's talking with Rebecca, who I think Rebecca's freaking incredible. And before she leaves, she's like, well, okay, I'll come back the next day. And then she says, I think you're beautiful. And I'm like, there's a manipulator. I see the manipulator right there. I know that language very well. And, just waiting for her to come back. And now this is the thing I'm unsure about and you guys don't have to spoil anything for me. Is Iris the character we're going to see throughout the rest of this show?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, that's what I figured. I figured you can't bring this character in and just, the way that she played weak. Like I'm watching when Mike was talking to her. I know it's kind of jumping ahead in the episode, but when Mike was telling her, look, get out of here. How old are you? Where are you from? All right, wherever you're from, go back because you're in a game that's going to kill you. And she was automatically went to the doe-eyed weak girl. She played that part perfect. The manipulation of the damage in that girl's eyes, perfectly played, because she did exactly what she should have done in that situation with Mike, who was warning her and telling her just go away, tell him we had a good time, to whatever, tell him whatever you need to tell him to survive, but go back home. I think that I'm going to enjoy watching this character going forward, and I just that's about it. There's not much more to talk about Iris. Does anybody want to add on to Iris in this episode? Or what you thought?
we don't know much about her at this point, right? We just know that
Yeah.
Milo, told his goon, hey, bring in so and so from New York, and then Iris shows up in Mike's
Offers
office.
to give Mike sex. Yeah.
Right.
As a
Okay.
thank you from Milo. Yeah. I just the few scenes I just really like the writing of this show and the acting, because you could tell in both scenes that she was in this episode how, even though she is young, she is a very skilled manipulator. She basically fished Rebecca to say, "Hey, are you bi? Are you at all anything that she can get in there? Are you bi? Are you susceptible to other women telling you that? Are you have any insecurities? Let me just throw this out there. You're beautiful." And I'm just looking at that and going, "Wow, I know you. Like I understand. The skill in what she was doing, and even for her youth, that's impressive. Probably someone who's been doing it most of her life."
Absolutely. And you'll see over the next couple of episodes just the extent of her charm, so to speak.
Okay. All right. I'm looking forward to that. I'm not going to have nightmares. And then, let's see. Glass came to the window. Oh, yeah, the cabin. When Mike's up at the cabin, his brother shows up. And Kyle shows up. That was funny as hell. When Kyle came out the car, and then Mike just showed up behind him. Hey! He scared the crap out of him.
What are you doing out here?
Poor Kyle is kind of innocent, even though he's grown up in this family and doing what he does. He comes off to me as someone who's very innocent. I don't know, pure, almost like there's a part of him that's like still pure. Like that's the feeling I get from Kyle.
Yeah, I don't think he's seen it as bad as it can get, like the other brothers had.
Right. Yeah, he's not as rough, and I think in that way, Mom telling him, telling Mike to tell Kyle to get into another, not just about the family, but just like maybe even if she truly does care, and I'm not saying she doesn't, but if she truly does care, trying to save what's left of him, that's like a good lad. I mean, that's how I translate it. I don't know. What do you think, Tina?
I would agree. I think that he's the only one of the brothers that thinks that there are still good guys out there, and as long as you sort of follow the line, that everything's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm interested to see, like, of the three brothers in the first episode, I really thought Kyle was going to be the one to get it. That's the one that I thought was going to go, but it was surprising to me when Mitch was the one that got killed. Later on, Mike meets with one of the prison guards to let them know that the inmates' gangs are requesting favors, and then this is this episode, right, where they just one of the gang members inside asked for a favor, and they just took everything away from him to remind him.
Yep.
Like, we have the power here.
Exactly.
That's there's a blow. You could tell that they're setting up. There's a blow up that's about to happen between those two. Between those two groups. There are many groups between the guards and between the inmates. Let's see. This is the part at the very end, y'all. I seriously thought when Kyle's standing in the pizza shop that the junkie at the table was the target. I really thought that's who the target was in that scenario. And when he unloaded on the owner, I guess it was the pizza shop owner, that took me by complete surprise.
Well, it was a situation that was simmering when it started, because the junkie was there, and he was there for some kind of reason, and that reason was likely, to rob the place. You could tell that the pizza guy, like the proprietor of the establishment, knew something was up. What we didn't know was that the proprietor of the establishment was going to do what he did, because he popped off.
Yeah, that was a hell of a way to end off that episode, I thought. I'm sorry, I know we skipped one thing, and that was Carlos. So like half the episode, Mike's searching for this guy Carlos, and then he finally gets picked up, and he bails him out for $4,000 of unpaid child support, just to have a conversation with him about the inmates. And I'm interested to see where that goes, because that was another great back and forth between Mike and the leader of a gang, or someone who represents a gang. And as far as like, it's up to us. It's not up to us. It's up to you to cool down your people, because it's not going to happen the way that you want. Things will get eased up. It'll get easier on the inside than it has been. But there's this favor thing is not going to happen the way that they think. Is there any notes on that, or anything else either of you? So I'll start with Slender, that you wanted to go over before we round it out.
Like I said, it's just interesting to me because the originally you think the Faustian bargain, the devil in that bargain is the inmates, but as this episode progresses, you start to wonder if the inmates are the devil in the bargain, or the guards are the devil in the bargain.
Yep. Tina, what about you?
Two things. One, Carlos, I think the whole situation with them picking him up is that Mike doesn't already have a relationship with Carlos, or the head of the Mexican gang outside the prison. He had worked with the Aryan gang's leader, and he had worked with Bunny in the past. So I think because he went to go see them where the dogs are trained, and since he wasn't there, I think having him picked up was just a way to arrange that meeting between him and Carlos. And as far as of course, now I forgot what my second thought was.
That's okay. Anyway, I'm scrambling.
In the next episode, we do continue the story about the pizza place, so that's not a one and done.
I didn't think it would be. Just because of the way that the stories have been written so far, I didn't think that would be just a one and done.
Yeah. Oh, now I remember what I was going to say. The way that the white guard, the heavyset white guard, the way Ed handles the situation, and you just kind of notice this is one of the first opportunities to see how he's way too emotional for the line of work he's in. So he makes stupid mistakes or makes the wrong call because he's not thinking, his feelings are hurt, or his ego is insulted, and that's why he retaliates or takes a particular action, and that ends up really that ends up being a downfall for the character as you progress.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Glisner, for being here. Appreciate you. Everybody else who's hanging out, thanks, guys, for hanging out and talking about the Mayor of Kingstown. We just covered episodes 3 and 4, and I'm looking forward to seeing 5 and 6. Am I going to like these episodes, guys? I know you've already seen the show.
I think you are going to love the next episode 5, because you learn more about Iris.
Okay.
So I think that's pretty good, and there is a really nice scene or storyline that starts about Bunny's nephew in the next episode.
All right.
That you then start to really see that the beginnings of a true friendship between Benny and Mike.
All right, dig it. I trust your opinion, Tina. Don't let anybody tell you different. I trust your opinion. Thank you.
I must have beguiled you, because every other man will warn you that Bad Take Bojan does not have good taste in entertainment.
Okay, as it relates to Mayor of Kingstown, she's got good takes. In all actuality, I'm struggling to think of an episode that you wouldn't like.
Really?
Now, some of them might not like what's happening, but you'll still like it.
Even then, I mean, when bad guys win, if they're played well, like the kid who played Joffrey in Game of Thrones, man, applaud. I hated him. Well done. I absolutely couldn't stand you. I wish you a great career, sir. I really do. I look forward to both heroes and villains, or anything in between. That's just well played. That's what I want to be entertained. And so this show has not let me down so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of it. One Man Show's here. What's up? Thank you very much, channel member. We appreciate you. Doesn't sound like something I'd watch. Well, I give it a shot. Give the first episode a shot. Honestly, like if you don't like the show after one episode, you're not going to like it because that first episode was really good. It hooked me in and made me want to watch the second one. And
Here's
then
the
the third
thing, though, right? I thought the same thing. Like, I don't go in for cop dramas. I'm not like those shows don't usually do it for me. And hey, watch the first episode of season 2. Start with that. For some reason, I honestly think if I had have started on season 1, episode 1, I may not have been hooked. But for some reason, when I watched season 2, the first episode of season 2, and I had this kind of general understanding of how season 1 went, I had to go back and figure out what led up to this. And yeah, I mean, normally this ain't my jam. It's not my kind of show, but for some reason, like Jeremy Renner he makes it happen. Like,
he does. God bless him. God bless, man. Speedy recovery.
I think this show helps reinforce the rule that if you watch the first episode of a show and you don't like it, watch at least episode 2 or 3. Because sometimes you don't get enough out of that first episode to really make a decision. And I think that if I, hadn't trusted, Mad's recommendation, I probably wouldn't have gone past episode 1 because, when Mitch dies at the end of the episode, they're like, oh, wait a minute. Wait, what?
Right.
Okay. Like,
well-written character.
Exactly. I'm like, oh my gosh, and Kyle Chandler is such an, incredible actor too. And I'm like, okay, he was the draw. I honestly thought that the show was built around him. I mean, not knowing that he was just in that one episode. So.
Yeah, that was a surprise to me too. I couldn't believe it. Great actors, good writing. If you decide to give it a chance, one-man show, you do. If not, we'll be covering other shows later on after we get through this one. And thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you guys. Smash the like, share out the link, subscribe if it's your first time here. And we're now going to talk about the other topic for this week and just laugh a little bit because the ex-royals need attention, apparently. Meghan Markle, I would have been happy my whole life not even knowing this person existed, needs a win amid negative South Park portrayal, legal war with estranged half-sister. Do you think that Meghan Markle needs a win because of South Park? Do you think that portrayal, have you guys, first off, have you seen the clip? Have either of you seen the clip from South Park about those two?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's what I figured.
Honestly, though, just on the Meghan Markle front, I will say one thing before we get into this story. I thought she was okay in Suits, but then I found out what kind of person she was, and I hate her.
Okay, fair enough. Tina, what is your take on Meghan Markle?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I think she's definitely a gold digger, and I mean obviously, well, maybe it's just obvious to me. I think that she's very narcissistic, and that's really how she captured Prince Harry. But just monopolizing on the loss of his mother. Because I mean, just for her to be like playing this victim role in the beginning of their marriage, to where Harry actually worries that his pregnant wife is going to commit suicide because of how mean and nasty all the white people are.
Did you ever hear her tell the story of how they started dating?
I don't know. I don't think so.
And I don't remember where I heard it. So this will be a little bit paraphrasing, but I swear to God, I heard this. And she was saying this. She said that it was a blind date that her friends set her up on, and she didn't even know he was a prince. All she asked was, "Is he kind?"
Oh, wow.
Oh,
I'll
geez.
take things that never fucking happened for 500. Alex.
No shit. That is a highly manipulative woman. I mean, you're right. And to place yourself as the victim, because that's what they are. You know, women like that, they're the victim. To manipulate him into that position, that's a mastery of craft. You know, I
And
no.
they've had enough instances of, you know, examples of her just lying straight out. Things like, oh, she had to learn how to curtsy, really, and then they show you 6 years ago she did a curtsy, you know, in an episode of Suits, and you know she lies about not knowing who Prince Andrew is, and then they show a tweet that she had done like 10 years ago slamming Prince Andrew. So I'm like, okay, so do you know or do you not know? I mean, who are you trying to fool at this point, other than him?
Narcissism for 500, Tina? That's pretty much. Yeah. Bullshitting. Bullshitting your way to the top. Never always the victim. And it's called cognitive dissonance. So let's go through this. Let's go through this article and see. Meghan Markle is believed to be strategizing her next chess move to reinvent her public image. There's no amount of bullshit. There is no amount of bullshit in revisionist history, I think, at this point, that could reinvent a public image that big. That's like the pinnacle. That's the pinnacle of bullshit. You bullshitted yourself to the top. There's nowhere else to go. You can't stock shit that high. You can't cover it up. Amid all the media scrutiny following the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in December, followed by Prince Harry's bombshell memoir Spare in January, the former Suits star is looking to boost the couple's image. The mother of two is currently in a legal battle with her estranged half-sister Samantha Markle. She and Harry, 38, were also the recent subjects of a South Park episode in which the couple, depicted as cartoons, held "We want our privacy and stop looking at us" signs as they traveled around the world. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, they went on a world privacy tour.
Yes. That's the toxic couple 101. I know. Trust me. That's not the way you roll. That is a contradiction. You can't ask for privacy if you're out there making books about what's going on and yelling at the top of your lungs. It's not going to happen. I'm not sure. I don't know about this hat. I don't know about this legal battle with the estranged half sister. I'm hoping that they're going to go into that because I really don't follow these people because I don't care.
Well, the interesting thing is, the more I see it, I don't even know if you could necessarily chalk her up as a narcissist, because while a narcissist has an overinflated sense of self-worth and often will tell lies to, try and keep that image, the lying, the manipulation, the going after anyone who might sully your image, the adding lies on top of lies when the lies start getting out of hand, like this is sociopath behavior.
Sociopathic, yeah, I was just thinking that. But sociopathic personality disorder is a person who really they mimic emotions, they don't feel them. So do you think that she's you think that's just nothing but bullshit, just mimicking everything that she shows, the manipulative?
I mean, have you seen the clips? There's a whole scene where like the kids kind of get to the prince and he starts thinking, we can't have our privacy if we just stop this and this and this and this. We don't want to be a brand anyway, do we, honey? And she just stands there staring at him. And he does that throughout his speech like 3 or 4 times. And then finally, since they're Canadian, South Park Canadians, he tips her head back and it makes the trash can opening sound. And he goes, are you still in there? And you hear the echo.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, that's a dead person inside. That's good.
It's an empty shell that's just pretending to be a person.
Right. Wearing a skin suit. Yep. That's incredible. No, I didn't see that clip, but now I'm going to go back and watch it. Let's see. Kinsey Schofield, the host of To Die for Daily podcast, claimed the Fox News Digital that the former American actress was quietly she was an actress? I don't even know if she was an actress. I don't even know if she was in anything. Did you mention that earlier?
The only thing she was in was Suits.
Okay. All right. has been quietly eyeing a relaunch for her lifestyle site, The Tig. Spokesperson for the Duchess didn't immediately respond to Fox News digital request for comment about a possible relaunch. The thing is, there's enough people out there with cluster B personality disorders that will support that shit. There's enough of them out there. So she's always going to have a fan base. That is for damn sure. I still believe the countdown to the TIG 2.0 is on, says Schofield. Harry and Meghan, thought that the book, Netflix series, and Spotify podcast would send them off in a completely different direction and fulfilling a financially successful direction. We know from the Netflix series alone that they started developing some of these projects in late 2019. No. I have heard that Meghan is dissatisfied with her public and media reaction to their projects, so much so that she is seeking guidance from mentors to redirect her pursuits. Meghan does not handle rejection well and is very sensitive to criticism. No doubt. Spare was the first real shift we saw from general public about the Sussexes. Is that how I pronounce it?
They were the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
Yeah, I know that word's confusing though. It's a lot of going on in that word. That's a lot. There's a lot for me. They went from being seen as victims and heroes to a laughingstock. Lampoon during Hollywood's award show monologues, late night talk shows, and now South Park. She is taken aback by it and happy with the negative attention. Man, roll with it, girl. Roll with it. If you're crazy, just roll with it. Look at those dead eyes. Those damaged eyes are kind of hot. No, anyway,
see, no normal human can make a hat sit on their head at that angle.
Are you sure? She's doing it right now.
She probably has like a magnet in her skull or something.
That's not a hat. That's a fascinator.
Oh, what?
What? Tina, what? What? Oh no, I need to know about this. What?
Okay. A fascinator is a type of, a head covering. And have you ever seen like the guests come to the royal weddings? They've got all this really screwed up stuff that's like flowery and feathery or really weird shaped things on their head. They're called fascinators, and there's a tradition about when they're worn and when they're not. And I believe when it comes to church, a woman needs to wear a head covering. So instead of wearing a traditional hat, or like the Catholics, we used to wear chapel veils, this is just kind of another head covering.
Well, okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for clearing that up, because I had no idea what I was missing in my life. And thank you. Now I know.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
if the time prophet were here, he could explain it much better, but
sorry,
I don't get it. Everybody got in trouble. Piers Morgan got in trouble. Jeremy Clarkson got in trouble. Like, everybody hates this bitch, and for some reason, once they announce that they hate her, the world comes after them.
Yeah, well, there's flying monkeys everywhere. First off, you're not allowed to attack a woman. You're not allowed to attack a woman, and you can't tell the truth about a woman. When they are someone who is manipulative or using you, and so that just goes along with it. There's always if she's a skilled manipulator, there are stories already set up through people with others about how she was done wrong by any of the people that she has done wrong, and so that is naturally going to come out. That's just a defense mechanism. And there are other people that, depending on her level of skill that she has acquired throughout her life, that co-sign to her bullshit, that are ready, raring, and right there to defend the bullshit because they want to keep the drama going. It just is what it is. What's up, Flying Saucer? Hail to you. Thank you for being here. Thomas, hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Give me a minute. You got to give me a minute. Hey, Thomas, how you doing? I just want to let you know, Zax is trying to get me to take my shirt off for him. All right, and I'm not doing it because you and I have a special bond, Thomas. We have a special bond. I only took my shirt off for you. Only for you, boo. I miss you, Tom. It's good to see you, buddy. I hope you're doing well, man. Much love to you.
And I give you guys some privacy.
I'm just for his birthday one year, I was a little sauced up, and it's Thomas need a little extra love. So I gave it to him. It's good to see you, man. Darth Scipio says Prince Carrot Top and Marco like to talk crap about people, but they can't stand anybody doing the same to them. Yeah, because they're stuck in a toxic relationship, and that's what toxic people do. Everything is everybody else's problem. Everything is everybody else's fault. Everything has to do with them. Cast out, cast aspersions. Make sure the cognitive dissonance spreads. Make sure that everyone else knows everything, whether it's true or not, about someone else, so you can deflect from how shitty of a person you are. I know this too. Yeah. So yes, Boosh. Yeah, we're going there. Where's Sporking? He abandoned us. He doesn't come, and even the star didn't show up. So Matt abandoned us. I bet you they're both together on a live stream with some bigger channel right now together, holding hands. But no matter where they are, Matt's
you
the
plugs
talent.
handle our light work. We're going to a real show.
Right.
And you notice we're all like, we're not even the B team, we're the C team. Like we could only pray to get on a Saturday night night panel. So
and only one person from the A team showed up. Thank you, Jane. Only one person from the A team showed up. So we appreciate you. Come on, hey Thomas. Hold on, Tom. I'm sorry. Gotta give me a second, Thomas. Come on. Haven't we shared something personal together? Don't we have a close and personal bond? We had our shirts off on the same stream. You, me, Ords. I think we even got proper to take a shirt off. You know, we have a bond. We're the Gator Menace. Accept it, buddy. I love you. I miss you. All right, so I love you, man. It's good to see you, dude. Let's see. Darth Scipio says Piers Morgan was run out of Good Morning Britain after he called Markle's lies. Yeah, because you don't do that to a bullshitter. They're ready. They've got traps set up. They are ready to fuck you up the moment that you decide to come out and tell them about their bullshit. Trust and fucking believe. It's what happens, bro.
She has an entire simping army of white knights at her beck and call. So
absolutely, because I guess she's hot. I mean, she's all right looking. I wouldn't say she's ugly. Eric K, thank you so much, channel member. Appreciate you. Jane raises you all to the A team. Thank you, and thank Jane. We appreciate that. No, we really do. Thank you, man. Look, we got a super chat. Scott, I got you a fucking super chat. You weren't even here, dick. All right. And it was Jane. It wasn't me. It was Jane. Thank you, Jane. No, to Eric, appreciate you, man. Gilpan says, don't worry, Walt. Nice Sporking on Friday. The first thing I'll do is I'll say to him is you abandoned the author, you idiot. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, buddy. I love you. See, we do have a bond. It's a totally hetero way, by the way. It's a totally hetero way. What? Well, hold on, Thomas. You can't do that to me. I don't love or miss you. No, don't do it. No. Dude, I have been left by so many people. Don't do it. Don't be another one. Incoming Fifis. Don't be another one. And who said, and we never seen her naked. What the fuck? Yeah, the best ones do it like that, I guess. The best ones do. Nora Baptiste says, look at those two morons, probably the dumbest couple on the planet, at least top 5. Yeah, but they're rich. Okay. There's something to be said for that. And they keep getting attention. It is what it is. She's no different than any other Hollyweird cretin that sold their morals and bodies for money, and now she's crying about it. Well, she's a victim. She's always going to be a victim. These are victims here. One man chose as attractive. I'd question that, but I do have high standards. I don't. All right, and she's all right. I just saying. We're keeping it real, one man. It's even worse for me. Scott only invited me on his Saturday shows after I gave him a ton of money. Yeah, Andy, that's fucked up, man. Because I know you put out. That's fucked up, bro. That's terrible. I'm gonna, you know what? Not that my word matters to anybody. I'm gonna send Tina to talk to him because he'll listen to him, girl. He don't care what I say.
He'll listen to me as long as I'm not telling him about the MCU and how great it is.
Right, trick him. Boo said she used to be pretty. Then she started talking and showed everybody how absolutely brain dead she is.
Total agreement on that one. Like I said, when she was saying lines in Suits, she seemed okay. Mm-hmm. As soon as I actually got a taste of her personality, she became real ugly real fast.
It's a damn shame. Yeah, rich victims. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we see them all the time. We see them in Hollywood. Their actors are rich victims out there. It's an epidemic. It is an epidemic.
Man, I can't even afford victimhood.
Yes, you can. Just pick a corner of something that would trigger someone's fifis and just say you're a victim of that. That's all you got to do. Don't show your whiteness, Slender Dad. Don't do that. Okay. You're just claim to be like 1/16th native something, or that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Just make up some bullshit. All you got to do is bullshit. We've been watching SJWs do that for years now. All you got to do is bullshit. Just keep yelling and whining.
Maybe I'll start streaming Hogwarts Legacy and claim that the activists are bullying me.
That's exactly what you need to do. You know what? I'm actually getting Hogwarts Legacy. It has nothing to do with any of the controversy. I just my son and I really want to play this game. And
here's the thing. I'm not even that big on Harry Potter, but the game looks really fucking good.
It does. It does. We've been watching the trailers for it. My son brought it to my attention, and ever since we've been watching trailers, and we can't wait to get it. As soon as I'm able to pay for it, I'm going to get it for him, and then I'm going to steal his system and play it on my own. Little chat comes through and says, like the scene Army of Darkness, baby, you got real ugly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess it all depends on your taste. I hope they start having a bad time, like being spit on in public, openly booed. Maybe they'll shut up. No, well, the thing is that people like that are already having a bad time. I don't know, like, just from what I've understood, at least in as far as Megan goes, which I'm not interested in their personality at all, but a person like that is already damaged. They're already empty, inside, and they're already having a bad time. They've already wrapped up bad karma. It's just the amount of bullshitting that a person like that can do in order to get to a higher position, how much dedication they have to their bullshit and their victimhood. And deflecting, a lot of deflecting. It takes a whole lot of cognitive dissonance to get to be a shit ass person and bullshit your way into circles where you are elevated to a position and protected by other toxic fucks or fucking flying monkeys or whatever the fuck they are, to protecting you and your bullshit. But people like that are always under criticism because you cannot be that crap of a person and not leave a trail of broken people behind you, lied to, defeated, manipulated people behind you. You can't get to that point without having that trail of bodies behind you. That karma eventually catches up. Doesn't matter how successful you become, doesn't matter how much money you acquire, doesn't matter who the fuck you make friends with, that will always catch up, and like will always attract like. We're just looking, I think, at a public display of a toxic couple that have hit the pinnacle of toxicity, and it's not going to stop until somebody changes themselves, somebody leaves somebody leaves the other. But really, like, where's she going to trade up to? She got up to royalty. But if I guarantee you, if the opportunity presents itself and she will victimize herself right up into a higher seat. And the prince or the ex-prince will be the cause of her downfall or whatever her problem she had or whatever the fuck happened in her past.
She'll pull a Macbeth.
Yeah.
You need to usurp the throne. Your brother doesn't deserve it.
Yep. Bush says they want nothing. They lied about all the horrible crap that they say happened. Yeah, well, it's usually, and people like that are usually lying on others by projecting what they actually do. So it's a nasty cycle. Vertical Horizons, they crave authoritative power. Absolutely, because when you are a fucking dead person, dead, broken, empty fucking shell inside, toxic motherfucker, that's exactly what you want. Power. You need to feel power, and that power doesn't come from within. That power comes from without. Who can you use? What power can you grasp and take from another while you're destroying them and feeding off them like a parasite? How can you attain power through someone else? Because you are empty inside. And yeah, that's good. She maneuvered herself into a great position. Boosh says, I hope she gets fat and all her hair falls out. I guess. Yeah, why not? And then she will be that nasty old mom on a porch who's like yelling at ghosts in the yard. It's like, so there'll always be something to yell at. There'll always be someone somewhere to disperse that blame. Let's see. One Man Show says, and Chris Rock pokes fun at her during award shows. Well, that's because he won't he won't Will Smith him, you know.
The prince didn't go up and smack him in the face.
Right? No, the prince has been cucked. If you're a dude in that situation, you are stuck in that cycle. That's it. You're not breaking free anytime soon, bro. And you absolutely should. Like, I don't know this guy, but you absolutely should break away from the person who is that. You are not their hero. You are not hero. You are not saving her. Anyway, yeah. So that's about the end of it. Any closing thoughts? Do we have any care whatsoever about these people? Anybody?
I just like to laugh at them and enjoy that they're hating the fact that they're being made fun of, because if anybody deserves it, it's these two.
I would agree. I just feel bad for the children.
Absolutely.
You know,
who are going to, the children who are going to be trained to be like that, to mirror that relationship, to grow up and seek people out who are going to be as toxic, or are going to become complicit to others who are act the same way, or take on the traits of people who don't own their own shit and deflect all blame onto someone else while bullshitting, projecting themselves upon others, and not living a fulfilling life as a decent person. Absolutely, completely agree.
Yeah, I mean, the kids aren't going to know family. You know,
right.
I mean, their parents are worthless. They obviously don't have a relationship with their cousins on the father's side. You know, and Megan doesn't seem to have a very good relationship with any of her parents except maybe her mother. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, it is sad. It is sad when it comes to innocence, because that's really the true victims in a situation like that are the innocents, the children who depend on their parents to raise them with values, to be protective, to nurture them, to be supportive of them. And when you have children who are exposed to people who are very full of themselves, don't take responsibility for their actions, can't take criticism, search for power outside because they don't have any within. They're the ones who are going to be damaged. It's literally passing on pain. It's literally passing on your ills to the next generation without any care whatsoever for how that it's going to affect them. And I mean, if Slender Dad's right, and we're dealing with Miss Sociopath here, they're just tools. You know, if we're dealing with any kind of cluster B, narcissism, sociopath, personality disorders here, those children, they're things. They're objects. They're tools. They're not humans with souls. You know what I mean?
Props.
They're props. Exactly. They are to be used to facilitate a narrative, or used, to reinforce their bullshit in the way that they live. And it is a sad thing. It really is. It looks like a UFO on her head. Looks like you're wearing a UFO on her head there. Yeah. Well, there was a name for that. And I forgot it already. Tina,
it looks like she hasn't unrolled the condom yet.
Bro, she's been taking it raw since middle school. All right. There's no condoms there. In Minecraft. So yeah, we're gonna shut that down, guys. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. I'm going to go through the panel and let them say where you can find them and what shows they might be on. So let's start with the lady. Tina, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you, sweetie?
Well, when I'm not here on Wednesday nights, you can find me with the Rogue Entertainment crew on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings. And otherwise, you'll see me in the chats pretty much everywhere. And you can also find me on Twitter at Tina Bojan.
All right. Thank you very much, Tina. Slender Dad, where can they find you, buddy?
You can find me here sometimes. Sometimes I'm doing movies with Mad. Sometimes I'm on patrol with Mad, keeping the streets safe, playing that police simulator game. The other time you'll find me 9 p.m. on Friday nights. Ascendant Art Podcast. I am the co-host along with Lil Chad.
Beautiful, man. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody in the chat for being here tonight. There we go. Thank you to everybody in the chat for being here tonight. Greatly appreciate you. Thanks for following the show. I'm just started watching the Mayor of Kingstown. I'm really loving it. Thank you to Matt for suggesting it. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here tonight, but go throw that man a sub for all the great work he does. He's more of a star on Scott's channel than Scott is, and so he needs credit for that. And thank you to everybody for coming through. Boosh, One Man Show, Lil Chad, Snore Baptiste. Thank you to Bill Barkley. Thank you to Vertical Horizons. Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping through. Andy, Zombie Box Reviews. Much love, brother. Thank you to Eric K for throwing out that super chat. Really appreciate that. Scott is very excited to have gotten his monetization back. It really took the wind out of him. And I'm proud of my brother. He kept going. He kept marching, kept, planning live streams. He just did not stop, and he would take any avenue that he could to succeed. And I'm really proud of Scott. I give him shit, but I love that man. Thank him very much. Thank you to the Gilk man. Thank you, Gilk. Thank you very much, Thomas. I appreciate you being here. Whole nother level, bro. Zax will never ever take the position you have in my life. I'm just letting you know. Much love. Doris Scipio, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Thank you to Jane for showing up. I really meant a lot to me. I appreciate that, Jane, man. Best of luck, and I love to see the success that you've had in the last couple of years. Love seeing it, and keep on rising, girl. Thank you so much to Flying Saucer. Appreciate you. AI Privilege. Thank you to Glizner, my man, long time TFM chat brethren. Good to see you. Thank you very much. And let me see if I missed anybody else. Zax was here. Hail Zax, guys. Please check out Zax. Check out Flaccid Phoenix. To all the great people that hang out over there in Magitech Mags. Awesome people, man. A great crew. Being very, very proud to see them grow, see them rise. Guys, check out Tim's talk. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for stopping by. And everybody else. So make sure to support your independent.
One thing. So sorry. Just at the last minute, we have a super chat, $2 chat from Glinzer, reminding us all that Etep Wakuian is live. So we'd like to go ahead and raid that mofo. Thank you very much, Glinzer.
Please do check out Etep Wakuian on Rogue Entertainment's Holy Shit News. Check him out. Send him a Sporking raid if you would. Greatly appreciate that. What's up, Pops? And thank you very much, Glizner.
What is going on? How are you guys still going? I thought you guys would have packed it in by now. This must have been an entertaining show. What happened over here?
We're tucking it in now. Now we're tucking it back.
I see. Yeah. I had a stream and all sorts of shenanigans going on. I'd look at my phone. I'm like, you guys are still going? I'm like, oh my God, look at you guys. Look at you guys rocking and rolling the long form. Pretty good. Good on you guys,
brother. Yeah. So I got to catch a little bit of your stream earlier, man. It was good seeing some faces up there. I never get a chance to, like Steven. That was pretty awesome, man. Good crew.
No, it's very blessed to be able to have so many folks come together for a member stream like that. Be able to showcase them, have them all come together like that. So awesome. So, but sorry I wasn't able to make it. These guys, I really do appreciate what you guys are doing over here, and I was hoping to catch Mads because my gosh, Mayor of Kingstown is freaking rock and roll, man. It's freaking best show in a long time, man. I tell you what, it's pretty rare I hear something being that highly touted and not having to come back with a hot take of being overrated, but it has delivered.
Yeah, I believe so too. Pops, since you're here, why don't you tell everybody about your channel and where they can find you, man?
At Pops, just do the YouTube thing at Pops. I didn't come in here to plug. That was really unfair. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. And so listen, just content, comic books, movies, TV shows, all sorts of nonsense stuff like that. So every day is usually things about 10, 15, 12, 15 Eastern time. Most days, on weekends like 9 in the morning. So yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. But I'm gonna have Scott. I got Scott on the hook here to do a What's Your Story. So that'd be kind of fun. Do those conversations. Got him coming on. So that'd be kind of fun. So
good shit.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Excellent, man. Now, man, thank you for stopping by for a moment. Again, thank you guys. Please remember to raid Etep Wakuian, the place to be reviews for Rogue Entertainment's Holy Shit News. Great fun over there, wonderful people. And we greatly appreciate you. Make sure to support your favorite 2 or 3 content creators, whether they're on YouTube, making a book or a comic. Supporting independent creators is very important. A lot of us started this gig because of what we did not like going on television in Hollywood and the way that our modern mythologies were being appropriated and used as platforms for division and propaganda. F that. Support your independent creators out there. Please share out links to their projects, Indiegogos, or channels. We don't have an industry to support us. We only have each other, and we rise together. Thank you guys so much for being here. I greatly appreciate you. I am author Stephen Walton, the Fandom Menace historian, your historian, born in the chats of world-class bullshitters with my brothers and sisters, fighting for our modern mythologies. Wash your hands, wash your ass, be good to each other, yet suffer no fools. Peace.